It's now 10:30 and we are about to begin, so come to attention. We'll start off with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Just a brief point of explanation. Mike Messina, our president, is on a very well-deserved vacation, and so as vice president, I'll be taking over for this meeting. So we please have a moment of silence for our recently departed residents, friends, and neighbors, as well as all those suffering throughout the world. Okay, we'll have a roll call of the members of the board.
Mike Messina. Absent.
Excused.
Ed Whitman.
Present.
Mary Adler.
Present.
Matthew Pelicano.
Present.
Annette Bailey.
Present.
Okay, the first item we'll have will record the minutes of our last open board meeting dealing with the 2026 HOA budget, which occurred on Monday, December 8th, 25. May I please have a motion from a board member for the approval of the budget meeting minutes held on December 8th?
My motion.
Matt, and second? Thank you. All those board members in favor of approving the minutes from the December 8th meeting, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, say nay. The ayes have it. The motion for the approval of the minutes is passed. We will now have a record of the approval of the minutes from the business portion of our last board meeting held on December 8th. Can I have please have a motion from the board member for approval of the business portion of our last open board meeting held on December 8th. May I have a motion?
I make a motion.
I second.
Okay, all those board members in favor of approving the minutes from the business portion of the meeting, please state aye.
Aye.
All those nays. The ayes have it. Motion for approval of the minutes is passed. Moving on to motion for this meeting. The first motion is in regard to the HOA insurance policies that we have. The insurance package is presented by USI Insurance Services as an annual cost of $150,000 for the year 26. A little history. 2 years ago, our insurance was $85,000. This is nearly a doubling of our insurance expense. Can I please have a motion from a board member for the approval of this insurance expense?
I make a motion to use insurance service at annual cost of $150,000.
Can I have a second?
I second.
All those board members in favor of approving this insurance expense? And as I have just explained, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, say nay. The ayes have it. This motion for insurance expense and coverage is passed. The second motion is in regard to our pool contract with Candlewood Management for 2026. The annual cost for these pool services is for 26 is $132,771.50. 50 cents is important. Can I please have a motion from a board member for the approval of the 26 expense for our pools?
I make a motion to accept the annual management contract for the pool.
Okay, can I have a second?
I second it.
All those board members in favor of approving this expense, as we have just explained, please state aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, say nay. The ayes have it, and the motion for the pool expense and coverage is passed. Today, the board will be passing a resolution for the approval of dedicated long-term parking spots for those residents who have been experiencing difficulty complying with our rules in terms of parking. We've had a couple of residents that have been unable to properly comply with our vehicle and parking rules due to family situations, as well as not having enough physical space to properly park multiple automobiles on their respective properties. In order to resolve this problem, the board has decided that a limited number of parking spots behind the clubhouse will be designated as long-term, semi-permanent reserved spots. This limited number of spots will be available to those residents who have this problem. This new program will start off with 3 reserved parking spots and will cost these residents a monthly fee for each spot. The exact cost and details of the program are still being worked out with a detailed contract with payment terms. We envision that the monthly fee will be between $75 and $100 per month. Ray will read the wording for the resolution in a moment. Can we have a roll call of board members to record this resolution? First, Ed Whitman, aye. Mary Adler.
We'll do the roll call at the end of the reading, correct, right? Okay.
Okay, in reading the resolution pertaining to the reservation of common area parking spaces, whereas the association was created by, among other things, the recording of a declaration of restricted and protected covenants with attached bylaws on September 12, 1994, in the office of the Ocean County Clerk in Deed Book 5199 at page 0001, sequentially and duly amended from time to time. And whereas the amended bylaws, Article 4, Section 1, provides that the property, affairs, and business of the association shall be managed by the board, which shall have all those powers granted to it by articles of incorporation, the declaration, and these amended bylaws and bylaw. And whereas the amended bylaws, Article 5, Section 1F, provides that the board shall have power to adopt, amend, and publish rules and regulations covering the detail of operation and the use of the property. Whereas the restated declaration, Article 3, Section 3B, allows the association to charge admission and other fees for the use of the common property. And whereas the amended bylaws, Article 4, Section 1L, provides that the board may grant and obtain easements, licenses, and other property rights with respect to contiguous lands. And whereas the amended bylaws, Article 4, Section 1I, provides that the board may do anything and everything else necessary and proper for the sound management of the property. Whereas the board wishes to establish 3 parking spaces on the association's common property, which would be reserved for long-term use by qualified association residents who may reserve such spaces for a fee on a first-come, first-served basis. Now therefore be it resolved that 3 common area parking spaces in the rear of the association clubhouse shall be numbered and set aside for reservation by association residents for long-term use. Parking spaces may only be reserved by residents with a valid address within the association. Any resident reserving a parking space shall provide the vehicle information for the vehicles sought to be parked in the space. Only approved vehicles will be permitted to park in the space. Unapproved vehicles may be subject to towing. Reservation shall be for a month-to-month term and shall be awarded on a first-come, first-served basis. The association may maintain a waiting list if necessary. The price for reservation of a parking space shall be $100 per month. The board of directors may modify this price at any time in its discretion. The fee shall be due in advance no later than the first of each month in which the reservation is to be effective. Any vehicle may be subject to towing pursuant to the association's towing policy if the vehicle is parked in one of the parking spaces designated for reservation without a valid reservation, including payment of the applicable fee, and/or the vehicle is parked in one of the parking spaces designated for reservation and the reservation has been expired. The board of directors may issue additional rules and procedures regarding reservation of common area parking spaces from time to time so as to implement the intentions expressed herein. Should any provision of this resolution be deemed invalid, the remaining provisions hereof shall remain in full force and effect, and any provision contained with any previously adopted resolution of the association that conflicts with any provision set forth herein shall be deemed void, and this resolution shall govern.
Can you summarize that in a little?
No.
Something a little smaller.
Now, basically, what we were looking at is we have a current policy where a homeowner can, if they're going away, if they have an extra car, they can reserve a space in the parking lot for up to 30 days, no more than 30 days. It has to be registered to the office. We have had situations where an instance may occur where it had to be more than 30 days. We've did a survey with other neighboring communities as far as paid or rented reserved parking spaces. We took the low end as far as any kind of a fee on this, and the board figured that 3 spaces would be enough to see how this would work. The Policy and Docs Committee reviewed the resolution. Once it's approved, they will make up the governing rules for this resolution, and we'll go forward from there. So this will not take effect immediately, but once we get everything in order, it will be announced to the community.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Very good. We will now have a roll call vote of the members of the board to record this resolution.
Okay, Mike Messina, abstention due to absence. Ed Whitman,
Aye.
Mary Adler,
Aye.
Matthew Pellicano,
Aye.
Annette Bailey.
Aye.
And Mike Messina votes through proxy by Ray. So unanimously approved. This resolution is now passed. There being no president's report today, Vice President's report as liaison to the Grounds Committee, I would report that the Grounds Committee is adjourned until March due to the winter season of fueling on grounds. But we are taking reports of any windfall, down trees, or anything of that nature that are of immediate concern, so we will address those as they come in. Treasurer's report?
Unfortunately, the numbers are not in yet. As soon as I get the final numbers for December, I will place on the bulletin board, there is a board, and I will place those numbers so that you don't have to wait till December of next year.
Okay, thank you, Mary. Secretary's report?
There's nothing to report.
Director at Large?
So, we had a 25 mile an hour. Can you hear me now? We had a 25 mile an hour speed limit sign that was taken down, that was by the gazebo. And now it has been replaced, but moved to the center, median island, right before the gazebo. I'm going to ask again to please adhere to the 25 mile an hour speed limit. We are waiting on speed limit additional speed limit signs. Unfortunately, the ground is a little too frozen to put them in, but as soon as it gets warmer, we're going to be putting in more signs. And that's it. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Annette. And now on the manager's report.
Got a warning from my report.
All right, good morning, everyone. Starting in January now, the list is low, but we're starting to work on the capital projects, investigate, research the capital projects for 2026. So far, the only 2 that we have planned is the Phase 5 asphalt replacement and the Vicari Avenue area. That will be done sometime later this year, August, September. We're watching the prices of asphalt, and John Rothberg, Ellen Rothberg and Sons had done the previous 4 projects. We do have four companies on hand that will bid on this project. Not that John didn't do a good job, he always has, but we want to get it out there and then get the best package we possibly can. We are also in the planning phases of the Wooden Tie Association retaining walls, specifically the one wall that we have been looking at to replace first is over in the Crisfield and Vicari Avenue section. It's about a 4.5 foot high wall, about 350 feet long. With the wall being that tall, 30 years of vegetation and wear and tear is starting to take its toll on the wall. We've had Kitcon Engineering do a preliminary study on that. They have submitted surveying proposals for the board to look at, because with this, the size of this wall, we'll have to have surveyors in there to give the contractor the specifications in which to remove and replace the wall. The vegetation, the trees and shrubs on both sides, on the upper and lower portions of these walls will be removed. Cannot be declared eminent domain, but as the association has responsibility now for these walls, that vegetation will be removed. If we can replace some of it, it depends how quick the project goes. If not, it would not be mandatory replacement. That agreement will be drawn up by the attorney, and we will have the specifications going out mid-year, because this, with the height of that wall, to reinforce the soil behind it, we will have to do it in the colder weather to make sure that nothing collapses during this project. So those are two of the capital projects that we have going on now. We continually make inspections for any preventive maintenance projects around. We have an annual list that we look at, and we'll start going out come March, no later than April, on community projects such as sidewalks, the deck for the pool. We did do a crack filling. S.O. Brothers from Farmingdale did that on the asphalt around the community. They were also contracted to do repairs on the asphalt walkways in some areas where it's heaved up by roots and cracks. That had to be postponed until it got a little bit warmer weather. So that's already contracted. We're just waiting for the go-ahead from S.O. Brothers. We can get that done. Spacuzzi was in here to finally complete the repairs on the women's sauna. So we were told that is up and running. I haven't found out by myself, but it's supposedly going very well. We do have 2 detention flow basins over on Clear Lake and Torrington Drive that were approved to be shored up, the riprap channels to be taken care of. That was to be weather related. We were trying to get that done prior to Christmas with the weather, and we still have a lot of drainage issues in that area waiting for it to dry out before we start. The problem with the drainage in these areas is that the outflow pipes are not on the pitch, they're laying straight underground. So it's hard for the water to drain out unless you get a large amount of reservoir out there. Also, for 30 years, we don't know what's in there as far as branches, trees, shrubs, or what could be in those channels and where they go. We have been out looking at it, trying to walk in it, and if we can't get a clear read on these channels, we're gonna get a company out here to help us look that we can get those cleared out to help with the drainage as well. Just a reminder that the AED machine that was located by the outdoor sports courts has been brought inside for the season. This is due to temperatures dropping below the safe temperature zone for this machine. For the elephant in the room, if you haven't noticed, December 14th and 15th, Sunday and Monday, we had a snow event here that on both sides of the aisle was not properly prepared for. We were looking at 1 to 3 inches during the week. When Saturday hit, most of us woke up to 7 or 8 inches. Although the warnings were there, living on the Jersey Shore, you never really prepare for that much. We did get approval from the township at 10 a.m. to have Meticulous start plowing the roads and the arteries, and they got on site shortly afterwards. It was after that we then told Meticulous, or the Meticulous was approved to do the driveways. We had to wait until they could get a crew up here, as their crews were already dispatched earlier to the different communities that they do. Being with the shorthandedness of the crew, the biggest complaint was that a lot of driveways were not done until the next day. There were driveways on the emergency list that we tried to get out there, but due to the delay and the shortage of crew, a lot of the the driveways didn't really start till about 4 or 5 p.m. and were not completed wholly until at least 5 p.m. the following day. We received many complaints, we received many concern sheets on this. The board did sit down with meticulous landscaping, we went over it, what the problems were, the poor response, what we expected in the future should anything happen again. Credits were issued for the percentage of driveways that were not completed. This fell on both sides of the aisle. It was, especially when you have something over the weekend, it's no excuse, but we handled this one poorly. So for those people, we did do the concern sheets at last week's workshop with the board. We responded to most of them. We've sat down with meticulous and pretty much not only hope there's no more snow for the next of the year, but at least we can have a better response with things going forward. So on my end, apologies for what had happened. I know it's an inconvenience for a lot of people who have to shovel their own driveways, and we make sure that this does not happen again. One other report, and this is from our government committee. There have been articles in the Toms River Times regarding affordable housing. We've seen things broadcasted on social media and what have you. The government committee does a great job, and they are doing a lot of investigating on this. And on this, their report is on December 8th, 2025, the Township of Toms River and the New Jersey Fair Share Housing Center entered into a mediation agreement to satisfy Toms River's 4th round affordable housing obligation. Included in this document is a representation by Toms River to adopt zoning no later than March 15th, 2026 to create a Route 70 inclusionary development that will contain both market rate and affordable renting units. The proposed development is delineated by block and lot and includes all the property contiguous to Lake Ridge. The agreement has been reviewed and approved by the New Jersey Supreme Court Affordable Housing Dispute Resolution Program Judge Julio L. Mendez. The government committee reports that this is the only official information that they do have. More will be communicated as it becomes available, and there also is a lot of false information and gossip going around. They want to see that nothing has been set in stone. Lots more needs to be done with zoning, etc. If interested, council meetings are held on the 2nd and 4th Wednesday at Town Hall at 6:30 p.m. And we will continue to get the information out as it comes forward. Also, a short notice that the next open board meeting on February 19th, 10:30 here, that we will have representation from our local fire commissioner and administrator, that they will be doing a little information segment on the upcoming elections coming up, and any other information. Dave registers in the back that you can ask Dave anything going on, but they will be in attendance at our February meeting. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Ray. We now have a motion to conclude the business portion of the meeting. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. The business portion of our meeting is closed. We will now proceed to the normal question and answer portion of today's meeting. Please be respectful of all residents' questions.